I played Call of Duty Warzone, and it's okay. Like it's
Hello and welcome. My name's Jay, and with me today is my good old friend Alexander Gonzalez.
hey, that's me.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Alex? You hate
You know, I'm.
Warzone. Warzone's the worst game that ever has ever
I
existed.
was actually gonna say I'm just okay. So just like Warzone, we're the same.
It's just okay. But those are not the mediocre things we are talking about today.
I
Today,
okay isn't mediocre. It has the slight intonation that it's less than okay,
what
right?
okay is
Like me,
has
like
indication that's
okay
less than
is like
okay.
satisfactory, and like
Okay.
mediocre is less than satisfactory, right?
Right, right.
Let me see. I just want to make sure.
I think mediocre just means
Oh
average.
no, of only moderate quality, not very
Yeah.
good.
Not very good. You heard it here first. Alex thinks Warzone is not very good.
Yeah.
But Warzone's not what we're talking about today. Today, we are creating something new. Every week, we are not game devs. We create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 161st IP. We are going with an oldie that I've had saved for a very long time. So it's going to feel like an older We Are Not Game Devs episode just because like the older ideas I had a very specific feel to them. And so we're going back to that. So what do you think? This is going to be very easy to put together. What do you think? Let's make this like a telltale style, like a walking simulator. You're going around talking to your buddies, going around your neighborhood, going from garage to garage, and you are part of a punk band, right? And this story will follow you, the main character, interacting with your band members and your friends outside of the band. And you guys are trying to break into the music industry and become a big deal, right? And throughout the story, there's going to be like, drama of their rise to fame and then like a big problem within the band, probably. And then it splits. And of course, if it's Telltale, you'll have choices on like who gets like kicked out of the band or like who these two band members were dating or they weren't dating, depending on how it goes. And that causes some issues within the band and stuff like that. And then maybe it's like your journey to become the greatest pop punk band of the era or in your neighborhood or something like that. And I want it to also have like rhythm games in between as well, like thrown in there. You play a song and it'll be like an original soundtrack of this band's work that you'll like go through, and there'll be like rhythm games for each one. And then maybe there's like a jukebox somewhere where you could just practice um your songs, and then maybe even like at a live show you had to play the rhythm game, and if you do bad it affects the story, and if you do good it also affects the story. What do you think?
I like it. I see where you're going with it. The only question I had while you were explaining the game was what the main gameplay was going to be aside from talking. You told me it was a rhythm game, so I'm happy about that. I think it would be cool. It makes sense that you would start off with playing like garage shows and like talent shows and kind of getting your name out there until you start playing bigger shows, attracting fans, and then from there, it's you and your band until maybe some representation comes in, and then you guys start playing bigger shows, but maybe there's some conflict, so then you have to choose between two band members, and then one band member wins, and then you have to get another band member, and then things go well, but then maybe people start wanting to change the genre of the band a little bit. As you go forward, then you have a record company, and maybe somebody wants you to sell out while other people don't, and then you have to deal with the agents. I think that's the way you can go.
Yeah, and I also think like I want the end of the game to obviously be, I mean, depending if you make the right choices, I do want the end of the game to be generally happy. And I also do, either if it's a bad, good, or mediocre ending, I do want the entire band I think at some point you do replace a band member, but I think they do get kicked out and then you bring the old band member back in. I want the original crew of the band to be in the band by the end of the game. Maybe if it's the bad ending, the character that leaves the band doesn't come back ever, but they will be in the audience for whatever reason, type of thing. You know what I mean? Like I want
You want
what
every
I'm saying is
character
I
to
want
make
the
an
core.
appearance,
Yeah, like I
like
want
at
the
the end.
core group of characters to have a conclusion at the end of the game. I don't want some character just because you made the bad choice for them to branch off, leave the band, and then you just never see them again. I do want there to
What do
be
you mean? You
like,
don't want them to like develop a problem? Maybe they abuse a substance and they don't go anywhere, and maybe there's another band member that goes solo and they actually do way better than every other band member.
that would be funny if one of them does go solo. Maybe that can be one of the outcomes that can happen. Um, but another like big part of this game, I think, is a ways in. Let's say about well, first off, I see this game being around. I don't want it to be episodic. First of all, I want it to be kind of like how Life is Strange is starting to treat their games, where the next Life is Strange, what's it called? Something about colors, whatever that game is called. It's just going to be one big game, right? It's not going to be a 5 episode game anymore.
Yeah.
But all in all, I do want this to be about 20 hours, maybe 18 if you just go type of thing. But then if you like explore a little bit, it could be like 20, 22, 23 hours. Um, and around like the 12, 14 hour mark, I think there should be a pretty cool like road trip, like bus tour type of segment to it where you're traveling across maybe the state. Maybe this game takes place in Texas and then you participate in the Battle of the Bands type of deal. And then like do this whole tour type of thing. And that's like maybe that's where the heaviest rhythm game portion is, where it's just live show after live show after live show. And then we do like one song per night with like nightly parties. You have to decide if you want to party or if you just want to chill and hang out, and that'll have consequences and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, a lot of
Now,
dialogue choices. What's up?
what would be cool too is what if you gain powers for the rhythm game, so we keep adding mechanics on top
Mm,
of it, where
mm-hmm.
one of them is like is to boost your score or get an automatic streak, you press this button, it's a power up, and then the audience starts clapping along to your music, and then it builds up a streak. Like as the audience claps like 4, 5, 6 times, it gets you back on track.
Yeah.
Another one would be maybe you get the audience to sing with you. Um,
Oh, like do point your mic out to the crowd type of
yeah,
deal
yeah,
during like the
exactly. Once
course.
you get big enough, like there's additional powers that can grant you little bonuses to keep the game fun.
Yeah, one of the things we could add, like more mechanics that you could start adding, and it will make sense to make it make sense as the game progresses. You're getting bigger and bigger stages. You're getting bigger and bigger shows. So maybe eventually
Mm-hmm.
you're not only just doing the rhythm game, and maybe at that point, some of the songs you'll like just know. You know, like you've played that song like once or twice now, so now you know how to play it. So now you have to deal with light effects and pyro effects, and like you start doing like you have to like manage the show as well on top of the
Yeah, that'd
actual
be
rhythm
cool.
game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so then you can do something where, like, we'll start off, and the first power up will be like you have a solo, and then you can have a solo with a spotlight, and then you can have a solo with a spotlight, and then pyrotechnics, where it keeps adding on top of it.
Do you want to say that you're the main character is the guitarist of the group?
Yeah, we can say that guitarist slash singer,
I don't think.
front man.
Yeah, I guess singer would also work. Yeah, you'll be the front man, dude. Um, and that way you'll get the most like interaction with like the producer heads and stuff like that, because you're kind of like speaking for your group. And then there's obviously going to be like
Exactly.
a conflict where your producer, once you make a label, is like, I don't like your drummer, we need to get rid of him, and that could start a start the drama within the band type of thing for
Yeah,
money versus
get
all
some
that, and you have to
conflict going.
choose. Yeah, and then maybe you could also choose between a big record label versus an independent record label, and then you'll
That's
have
what I
like
was thinking
different
too. Yeah, and have different
interactions there.
money, and that would change your journey and what
Hmm.
setups you have.
Exactly. Um, I think the biggest problem we'll run into in this game is that too many branching paths, but I think, with enough time and
I'm
thought, we
thinking
could
we could
probably
do,
put
yeah,
it all together.
one or two branching paths, and they all lead into each other, but
Hmm.
it won't be too terrible.
Definitely. Uh, Lastly, I do want, like I said, well, let's talk about music a little bit. The music in the game. I do want like there to be the first starting songs, and they're gonna sound like kind of trashy, kind of like more like garage audio
Yeah, yeah,
quality, where it doesn't sound that great, and then maybe the rhythms and lyrics aren't like amazing. But as the game progresses, I think the band's music will also progress. So you'll notice that, okay, this song sounds better, like quality wise. And then maybe next one's like, okay, this song sounds like quote unquote mainstream, where it's like more poppy. It has like a better hook type of thing. And
yeah,
I think there is a song that's like your hit song, and that's the one that you're going to be playing over and over again. You know?
yeah, yeah. So it'll be like your main theme.
Yeah.
It'll be what everybody wants you to play. I think it would be cool too, is if in this game you get to customize a van that you guys all roam in for the first
Oh yeah,
act.
that'd be cool. And I think you could also customize like some of your live show elements. Like you choose, oh, I want this to pop up at this time, or I want these
Hmm.
colored lights and stuff. Like you'll have small customization options like that. Um, in terms of other music as well, what other stuff that we're hearing, I think it'll also have like, I think we'd also have to get like we'll definitely have to get a band to write multiple songs. I think it's
Oh
gonna have a
yeah,
lot of music in it.
hmm
And then I
it'll
think
have to
we'll
be like
also
a
have,
whole band and like that we're based
yeah,
off of. I almost
exactly.
wonder if we should have a rival band, like someone that's like they're not
Oh.
exactly rivals, but because they came up at the same time the other band did, everyone can't help but compare.
I like the idea of a rival band. I also like the idea of having other artists from different genres that exist in this universe that you all, because you're in the music industry in this game, you're gonna meet up with other music artists. So you're gonna meet other
I don't
artists as well.
I don't know why my first you know how sometimes there's like cameos, how in Guitar Hero they had Tom Morello? You're just like, "What? My producer's 50 Cent? That's so crazy."
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
something like that, you know?
We
Like
could
some
definitely
big
do that.
producers.
Yeah, have like famous like famous artists make appearances like that. And I think at a certain point you'd have to like choose your opener. You know what I mean? Like someone
Oh
to open for
yeah.
you, and so you could choose between a couple of people, and then that will have an effect. Like maybe like um if you choose like what your best friend maybe is a rapper, but that doesn't go over so well if you choose him to be the opener because like the music doesn't clash very well, you know?
Hmm.
And so like it would have been better if you chose like another pop punk band, maybe your rival pop punk band or something.
I think they had it where what? I want to say it was something like NWA opened up for Prince or vice versa.
Hmm.
Like there was some weird things where rap
Yeah.
groups did open for rock and roll for a little bit.
I mean, I've had some concerts where like the one of the openers was more popular than the headliner, and that was an awkward concert.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. And that type of shit happens. And I think that'll just be the soundtrack to this game is we'll get like multiple musicians, big and small. We'll get a special cameo guest where at the very last concert they come out and fucking Blink 182 opens for your band, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like
that'd be
we'll have
dope.
like actual Blink modeled into the game, and they'll like do a song for the opener or whatever. And it'll just be playing like Damn It in the background while like you have to like make choices behind the stage, and that's probably where also the biggest drama is going to happen because it's like the final bits of the game, you know what I mean? Like I want that
Yeah, yeah,
smash
yeah.
mouth moment in Rat Race at the very end. That's where we could put that cameo, and maybe yeah, a famous producer could be one of the choices as well. um, but I think it'll be all sorts of genres, not just. Are you cool with it being pop punk? I just think that would make the most sense being in a garage
Yeah, no,
band and
pop
going to
punk
the.
works. And there's a bunch
battle
of different
bands.
ways you can go with it for different conflicts. You can also have your first like real party where there's industry execs and
Oh yeah.
artists, and you have to
Also like
navigate
backyard
that.
parties when you're smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be like a big text component. Like you're going to be texting some friends back home, and kind of like how Life is Strange did it. I know you didn't really play Life is Strange too much, if at all, but just texting some people just to like build out the world a little bit, just optional like backstory lore stuff that you could look into. And I also think that it would be a good addition in this game to have like a uh I think I already mentioned this, like a karaoke room or like a jukebox option just to go and play just the rhythm game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. That way you can practice your skills.
yeah, and
Maybe
maybe
it's
that's
some.
where we'll also have like other bands there that we make the rhythm game for, but you don't actually play in the story. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the rhythm
Like
game
their
portion
music,
of
like you
it
can
is
play their music on the game.
exactly. And
Okay,
I think
that's
like
a
the
cool
rhythm
idea.
game, I think is going to have its own full, the whole soundtrack will have rhythm games to it, but you're not going to be playing the rhythm game actually in the game. It's only in the jukebox. So like if I want the rhythm game portion to feel like if you just bought it as a rhythm game, that's all it was without the Telltale stuff, it would still feel like a full-fledged rhythm game. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I kind of want the rhythm game portion to be a good, fun game that could stand on its own type of thing.
Yeah, I think this game has a bunch of cool ways it can go too. Just paying special attention. You know how we said that we can kind of influence the subgenre? Like that could be one way you can go with it, whether you want it to be pop punk, or maybe you want it to be a little hardcore, or you just want it to be pop, or like maybe like
Like you think you
grunge
would
punk.
have
You could have different audiences where one audience will mosh, another audience where they're just kind of jumping, or where they do different dancing depending.
so you think you should have some control over the sound of your band?
I think you'll always have classic hits, and then towards like the later act there'll be a time where maybe you add a slight subgenre if you want to.
Like you could choose this song or this song type of thing.
Exactly, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of music in this game, I feel like. And hopefully all good. One last thing I want, and I want this to be like a overarching story point in the game, is maybe the main character, you are trying to write the best song ever. And I think you'll get pieces of it here and there. Like you'll like hear him like working on it or like practicing it, or maybe even uh work with the band to like try to get it somewhere. And then throughout the game it gets more pieces added to it, but at the end that is the song that you play at the very last show, and it's the new song that you've been working on forever. And it's actually good type of thing, you know. And
Yeah,
I
I
think
like it.
on that particular
Like,
song, the player can choose certain lyrics and also like certain melodies, not like very specifically, but we'll give them like one or two choices to flip in and out of it, you know.
now, and what I think would be, and you can totally do this because I think the song that you're making would be like an international phenomenon, almost like the way you remember Pharrell's "Happy." You remember that
mm,
song?
mm-hmm. I
How
was
it
thinking
kind of
more like
transcended
Bill and
everything,
Ted's.
huh?
Nothing. Continue.
But something like that, where it's just so famous that it's used everywhere. Where
Hmm.
once the song's played, like it'll do like a montage of the song, or like how Black Eyed Peas was, where it's at concerts, it's on TV, it's at baseball games. It's almost ubiquitous with culture.
Yeah,
It becomes culture.
definitely. Pricing,
Well, it's
full price game.
$70, right?
Yeah,
$60. Isn't this like a premium game?
it is. I don't know how much they're charging for Life is Strange True Colors. That sounds right. Life is Strange True Colors. But $60, I guess. I think the graphics are also going to be more Life is Strange like, so this probably can be on Switch. So it's not going to look amazing. So probably like $59.99, not like next gen $70 price
Okay.
point type of thing.
Built for the just every gen.
All right, Alex, it's time to start your timer because it's time to name this game.
All right. What do you got for me?
Got nothing. What if we named like what if the name of the game is the name of the band? Like something like I don't
Like a
know.
day to remember?
Isn't that an actual band?
Yeah. I'm just saying that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Um
So you want to be a band, famous rock band? I don't know.
that sounds like a terrible spin-off for the game Rock Band.
People always think of cool band names. Now we can't think of any.
Right? What if we named it I don't know.
Ear.
What if we named it The Tour?
There we go. The Tour. I like that. In 1 minute 33 seconds. The Tour is a music rhythm game where you play in a heavily narrative-based story as the frontman to a punk band that starts off from garage to talent show, playing music, getting more popular, until eventually you play in front of your own ticketed live audience with the ups and downs of the music career, producers, record contracts, and more in The Tour.
I think also The Tour could be a cool band name, and it doesn't exist. I just looked it up on Apple Music. There's nothing called The Tour. There's no results.
All right, so I guess the band name will be The Tour.
The Tour. It's okay. It's an okay band name. All right. So, I think we have a game here, Alex. What do you think? Would this be a game you'd want to play, and is it fun?
Well, I only really played Guitar Hero because everyone else was playing it. In fact, my first Guitar Hero game was Guitar Hero 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I waited until it was tried and true.
Mm-hmm.
That is to say, I'm not really musically gifted, and the band experience isn't something that I'm really interested in. However, I mean, like it or not, it's who I am. If everyone else was like, this game's awesome, we should really give it a shot, I would probably give it a try. Only because it's something different from the norm.
Yeah.
We haven't played a music game in a while, a music narrative game. It would be one of those genres that would be quite refreshing to me. How about you?
I mean, I love Telltale style games. And I also love rhythm games. They're both genres that I've thoroughly enjoyed and played a lot of, and probably played the majority of like really the biggest of these type of games, like in terms of rhythm and also Telltale style games. So yeah, I think I would definitely enjoy this game a bunch, and also just really like the story and enjoy the rhythm game portion of it. Of course, only if the rhythm game portion of it is actually fun, because I have played a very many rhythm games that are just not fun, and they're just annoying, and like the beats are off from the notes that you have to press, and it's just
that's bad.
terrible.
Yeah.
As long as it all works and it's all fun, I would have a blast. Now that we have a complete game, what game studio would you assign to be able to make The Tour the best? I'll start off. Deck 9 and or Don't Nod, the dudes behind Life is Strange. I think Life is Strange is also a very musically inclined Telltale game anyway. They have a lot of musical guests and musical stuff. The next one, True Colors or whatever it's actually called, follows a musician. I think the main character is a musician, and that's like part of the story. So I think, they're already on it, and I think that they'll do really well. You have another one?
Well,
Because I got another one right off the bat.
I would do Epix Inc. They're the ones that did the remake of Parappa the Rappa. I think that this could be a cool exclusive by Sony if they publish it, where it would be a cool story-based rhythm game.
Yeah, yeah. I also would just give it to New Telltale because it just makes sense. And I don't think they have anything released since New Telltale became a thing. The only thing we know coming out of New Telltale is Wolf. Is it called Wolf Among Us?
Yes, The Wolf Among Us, I think,
Yeah,
too.
Wolf
'Cause I
Among Us
played the
2
first
is
one.
coming out, and that's the first
God,
project from New
that's
Telltale.
so long ago. I remember
That
when
was a
you
long
told me
time
to
ago.
play that game.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us is great, and I can't wait for the sequel. But yeah, Telltale.
And then Campo Santo.
Capo Santo is a good pick. Santa Monica Studios, I think, could do something interesting with this as well.
Mhm.
Sticking with the Sony theme. And lastly, I think Atlas could do something interesting with this
The
because
music would be so good.
the music would be great. And I mean, they already have Persona, which is a visual novel with not branching paths,
Yeah.
but different like story beats and stuff. And they have the Persona rhythm games, so they already
Yeah.
know how to do the rhythm game stuff. So I think Atlas could do
That's a
something
really smart
cool.
choice that
Yeah.
I don't think typically people would think of, and I think it's really good because their games are always lauded for their music, whether it's based around music or not.
Right. I mean, wait, that's Square Enix. I was thinking World Ends With You. But I guess, yeah, let's throw Square into the mix as well.
So many studios.
And with that, our 161st IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We're still learning how to make the show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if you ask for a review instead of reviewing your show, our show, not your show, this is our show, become your inner green critic and review The Tour, the video game we just created today. Thank you for joining us today. We will be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name's Jay Yee.
I'm AG.
Thank you, and please remember that we are not game devs.
And then we should do a DLC where everyone in the audience becomes zombies, and then you have to use your guitar as an axe as you chop off heads. But every time you do it, it plays music. So when you get a combo going, as you're hitting multiple zombies, it's actually a rhythm game, where then you have to hit zombies with the rhythm of the song to then power up your axe until it becomes fiery, almost as if the rock gods are imbuing your axe with magical powers. Maybe that's a different game altogether.
Yeah,
Just
I
cut
think
this
that's
out,
a pretty
Jay.
cool game.
Just cut this out.
Yeah, just save that for another idea. It's kind of like Cadence of Hyrule or Crypt of the Necromancer, but as a Muso.
Yeah, I didn't even think that's gold, damn it.
Take it and use it again next time. People won't remember.
Now you're challenging them. Someone just wrote it down.